Welcome to Spiritual Dialogues with Father Udon de Castro. We are here at Cariana Lay Monastic Community. I'm your host, Brother Lodi, and with us is Sister Tachi. Sister?
Yes, Father. So you were going to explain the transfer from the old vineyard to the new vineyard and the process, di ba, Father?
Yeah. So that is what is found in the Gospels with regard to the parables in the kingdom of God. It's very clear that the vineyard of the Lord is the Catholic Church. God gives the church to people who are worthy. So God gave it to the Jews, the first ones. But because they were unfaithful, God always does it. He takes away the vineyard and gives it to another who will tend the vineyard properly. He always does that. And the history of the Catholic Church, God has been doing that many times. In fact, nobody knows it. But the religious orders in the Catholic Church were God's way of precisely transferring the vineyard from one group to the other. It is. Like, for instance, when God has transferred the vineyard to the Gentiles, there was the apostles preaching to the Romans and so on. These are the Gentiles already and so on like that. The first church was very intense, very devout, the first Catholic Church. With all the fathers of the church, they were very good. But almost in the year 600, they began to deteriorate. They began to become unfaithful. There were so many heresies. Arius, Pelagius, these are heretics. And Saint Jerome was saying he one day woke up and found the Catholic world Arian. Meaning to say the Catholic Church is completely Arian. Meaning to say the Catholic Church, even at the beginning, has become unfaithful. So probably because the Church was unfaithful during that time, God took the vineyard away from them. But God has to create a bridge, sort of a bridge, so He can transfer the vineyard to another group, give it to another group. So God probably, what He did was He would raise saints, like the apostles, saints, because it has to be a saint. The bridge has to be a saint. So probably He raised Saint Benedict. Saint Benedict was living in Rome. It was the seat of the Catholic Church, and it was so corrupt, to the point that Saint Benedict had to leave Rome and become a hermit because it was so unfaithful. It is as corrupt as the Catholic Church, institutional church, is today. So Saint Benedict left and he became a hermit. When you say hermit, that means reaching the life, the contemplative life. That's almost the perfection of charity. Which means Saint Benedict became a saint, a Catholic. He became a saint, a Catholic, while being a hermit. Then he gathered his community, made them saints, and then re-evangelized Europe. That has turned into Protestant. So sort of God took away the vineyard from Europe and gave it to another European nation.
Yes, Brother.
So during the time, Rome, for instance, and Greece were very Catholic. But during the time of Benedict, Germany became very Catholic. Another nation. And and he sent the missionaries to England, St. Augustine to England, so on like that. So those were other vineyards. But then after St. Benedict, again, the church became corrupt. The vineyard became corrupt because they were unfaithful farmers. So God would take it away. Then He has to make a bridge again from the old unfaithful vineyard workers to a new vineyard, you need that bridge. So God would raise another saint, probably Saint Dominic, and so forth and so on. And these saints, therefore, were the bridges that connected the old vineyard to the new vineyard, from the unfaithful vineyard to the faithful vineyard. And that is what precisely we feel is happening today. That the institutional Catholic Church with headquarters in the Vatican is so unfaithful that the vineyard, the church, must have been taken away from them and given to somebody else. And we have to find out who that somebody else is for us to be able to enter the Catholic Church again.
About the Catholic Church, it reminds me of Saint Francis when a voice he heard that rebuild my church.
Yeah.
Does it mean that
That's
he
another
has
bridge.
to evangelize the real church?
Yes.
That is like a bridge too.
Yeah, this concept of bridge is very important. Many Catholics do not know this. Even theologians do not know this. But the Seraphic Doctor, Saint Bonaventure, knew about this, the bridge. He knew about it. He lived in an era where the Catholic institutional church was very corrupt
Also.
at the time. And so he knew that God would abandon this vineyard and transfer it to another vineyard, a faithful one. That the church during his time was very unfaithful. So he knew there was going to be a transfer. And he thought, this is the Seraphic Doctor, he thought that St. Francis was a bridge.
Okay.
And the probability is great that St. Francis of Assisi was a bridge. Because during that time, St. Francis, who was not even a priest, he was not a bishop, he was not a cardinal, was the only one preaching effectively. He was the only one evangelizing effectively.
So,
And his community.
so he was the bridge at that
That's
time.
why he was chosen by God to build his church.
Yeah, God chose him first and made him a saint because you cannot be a bridge unless you're a saint. So God made him a saint. And what is perplexing is the fact that, like Saint Benedict, Saint Francis of Assisi never studied theology.
Okay.
They were laymen, ordinary laymen.
Yes.
How come they knew their theology very well? They knew how to teach people how to become saints and enter heaven.
God gave it.
Infuse knowledge. So the bridge can be discerned, you can recognize them because their knowledge is infused. They don't learn it from seminary, they did not learn it from theological schools. It is directly infused by God.
Given by God.
Yeah, it's a gift.
The grace of God was given to him.
You will notice all the bridges are like that, infused knowledge.
It sort of gives us, it's encouraging, Father, that means it has happened many, many times before what's
Many,
happening
many
now.
times, yeah.
So it's okay. God is taking care of us. So there is a bridge somewhere.
Yes, actually what God is saying is probably this church
Yeah.
is no longer the Catholic Church.
No.
And even Pope Francis has been saying, I want to change the Catholic Church. He's been saying that.
So he doesn't, yeah.
And he has changed it very much. He has changed the Catholic Church very, very much. He has changed it. And we're not the one accusing him of changing the church. He said he wants it changed.
Yeah.
He himself wants to change it. And he has changed it. And now it's Protestant. It's no longer Catholic. It is very unfaithful to Christ. And the probability is great that the vineyard has been taken away from the Vatican and has been given by God to farmers who will tend to it very well. And so the question is, Where is that vineyard?
Yes, Father. Where's that bridge first?
Yeah, the bridge is a little hard to find.
Yes, but at
Yeah.
least the vineyard must be there.
Yeah,
And
the
they're
vineyard.
yeah. In other words,
Because the bridge will lead us to where the vineyard is. Right?
Yeah, because the bridge is always chosen by God personally.
Father, I was just going to say, yes,
Yeah.
that's clear. And then you don't need to know the bridge. You just know the vineyard because
Yeah, that's true.
that bridge is really, it's between God and
It
that
is
bridge.
pointing, it's
pointing.
pointing.
And if it has
Yeah.
pointed and it is clear that that's the ano,
That's
that's
good
fine.
enough. That's very
good
good
enough.
enough. Yeah.
Harder to look for the particular. I mean, at that time, I'm sure
That's
they did. Not everybody knew Benedict, and not everybody knew that he was the bridge. Just that they found the
Yes.
church. And the church, excuse me, Father, the church will have the same commands of Christ, the same doctrine.
That's
so it
true.
cannot be that it's a different one. It's the same church, the real one.
At the time of the apostles, the church of the Old Testament was
yes.
different
Okay,
from the church of the New Testament.
yes. But now,
Yeah, but today,
it's the same New
the
Testament.
church of Christ and the church now has to be identical.
Oh, so the same.
Yes, Father.
So it has to be continuity,
The same.
not discontinuity. So to the question of Brother Lodi, can you at least know the bridge? Yeah. Because these are people, these are human beings on earth.
Okay.
This is the Catholic Church on earth, but they are the bridge. They're not the vineyard, just the bridge transferring the old vineyard, the unfaithful vineyard, to the faithful vineyard. And you can detect them immediately because all their teachings are in accordance to the teachings of Christ. But you cannot detect that
If you don't have faith.
because you don't know it.
If you don't know it.
I just said these
I
are people
see.
who
I
are
see what you mean.
teaching all the teachings of Christ, but all people today do not know
What are the
teachings of Christ.
So they would not know that that's a bridge.
So you wouldn't know which is the bridge until you cross to the other side, the new vineyard, which will have the 4 visible signs of the true church.
And then the new vineyard will have the teachings of Christ being taught. And the same
Yeah.
teachings of Christ that
Being
did
taught.
not change.
This time from evangelists, from preachers.
And they will be teaching.
Yeah,
They'll be teaching it.
because this will be teachers, yeah.
So the bridge will be teaching.
The bridge will learn directly from God,
Yes.
but the new vineyard will be learning from the preachers,
From the bridge.
from the bridge, yeah.
Huh?
And those taught by the bridge.
And those taught will be.
Yeah.
I know that the bridge will have people
There will
under
be, yes, of
more
course.
naman. So
Yeah.
there might be more people teaching, and they will be teaching
Yeah.
the truths, the truths that we are supposed to know.
Yeah, like the apostles said, the fathers of the church to teach.
right,
That's
exactly.
true. To
Okay.
continue the teaching.
So then you will know that that's a vineyard because.
Yeah.
But if you don't know and you're not seeking, you will never find it anyway.
Yes. So the problem now is because you don't know the teachings of Christ, you will not know the bridge.
Yes.
But the bridge will point you to the new vineyard. You have to enter that new vineyard and teach and learn all the teachings of Christ in that vineyard, in that Catholic Church. You have to learn it because you cannot learn it anymore in the present
No, man,
institutional
finished. That's
church.
finished.
That's finished. God has abandoned that vineyard. You have to enter the new vineyard where precisely tending the vineyard means learning all the teachings of Christ.
And obeying them. Okay. So that's clear, Father.
Father, we have only 1 minute, please.
So there what we saw was what Christ usually does to unfaithful vineyard workers. What he does is one of the parables of Christ. And we see that he has done it many, many, many times in the history of the Catholic Church. And what we feel is he's doing it right now.
One last important question before.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who like to be the bridge
Oh, you can
God chooses.
They like to be the bridge because I have seen it on television, the teaching what is written in the Bible, gathering people. So I presume that they would like to be the bridge to a new kind of vineyard.
Yes, no.
cannot be.
And then it's not a new kind. It's that a new vineyard, but the same. The
It's
same.
exactly-
It's
it's
exactly
exactly
the
the
same as the original vineyard.
It was taken it was just
Yeah,
transferred.
transferred.
The
So
same
it's
church, exactly the same
Yeah,
church.
cannot be something else.
So the idea is don't leave the Catholic Church, no matter how corrupt and how confusing it is. What you have to do is, okay, leave the church because it sounds like Protestant,
That is this one.
but look for the true church because it is surely around. It is surely around.
Yes, thank you for watching Spiritual Dialogues with Father Don De Castro. We have to search for the new vineyard, search for the Church of Christ, the real Church of Christ. Please continue watching Spiritual Dialogue because the dialogue are the salt and light of our Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you very much. See you again, brothers and sisters.
Hosanna, Hosanna,